We have made it to our first, I guess you could call this one a flipping skill, non-airborne flipping skill, the back walkover. This one is super important because hopefully it's going to help us build a lot of confidence going backwards without leaving the floor yet, hopefully without too much looking as well. Now, the main and the most important thing you're going to need for this back walkover is shoulder flexibility. Believe it or not, this skill shouldn't be bending in your back. It should be stretching with your shoulders only. If you lack this extension in your shoulders, you better get stretching. Things like this, where you're letting your body weight stretch through, gravity will put you in the right position. I try and reach here into my back walkover every time. We don't want to bend here in our back. We want that bend, if that's what you want to call it, in your shoulders and chest, in the top half, not the lower half of your back. This is another really good shoulder stretch using a wall. Push your nose through to the floor and open your shoulders. Again, you should only be stretching through your shoulders, not your back. Next, we have to go over a bridge, obviously. When you get it up, you want to keep that weight over your hands and shoulders, pushing through straight legs, keeping your head forward and keeping your head in. If you lift your head, it'll only make it harder for you to keep that weight over your hands and shoulders. It'll even it back out over your feet and hands. Okay, we want to be pushing through our feet, over our hands and shoulders with our nose. Let's talk a little bit about balance before we reach back into that bridge. Thinking about things like keeping your balance will help you to reach back into that bridge and not have it land really heavy on your hands. It'll also help you keep your body more stable as you're reaching back on one leg. So we're going to go over leaning back without leaning back. Okay, you want to keep your legs as straight as possible. You want to keep your hips over your toes, and you want to keep more weight in the balls of your feet and your toes than on your heels here. Weight in front of your body, not behind. Also, that includes your nose. You want to try and keep your nose as far over the front of your body as you can, so that when I get to here, I'm leaning back, but I'm not falling back. Still trying to keep my legs as straight as possible here. Again, I'm really not bending in my back here because I'm squeezing here and I'm keeping my head up. This is, again, not too comfortable of a position to stand in, but that's a position you want to hold as we're leaning back so that we're not falling. Let me show you what happens when you lift your chin up from that position. So we get to here and we're balancing nice and fine. If I want to go like this, my balance is going to just flop down and I'm falling out the back. That's going to add a lot of weight to our bridge. We're going to land very, very heavy on our hands and maybe touch your head to the floor. In my opinion, the most important part about reaching back and getting to your hands is trying not to look, trusting yourself to not look up and over the back. It is only going to help the handstand pieces coming over the walkover and the back handspring when we get there too. Trusting the handstand to be here and not here. As you can see, that just created broken shapes. So just like the stretch we went over before on the wedge and the wall, the reach for the back walkover, the reach for the bridge, the reach for where the back handspring is going to be, needs to be way back here, way further, even further than that. That's as far as I can reach, but that doesn't mean I'm still not trying to push them further. This is why shoulder flexibility is super, super important. Now let's get to the bridge. I'm not perfect at this. My legs will probably bend a little bit getting there, but it does not mean that I'm not trying to do all of these things that I am explaining to you that's important. It's actually the only way that I'm going to get there is through forcing technique. So you guys got to make sure that these are all important for you as well as it's important for me. We're going to start just falling the bridge, and we are going to start with our feet slightly apart just to help us keep the balance for now. Again, trying to keep your weight in your hips and your toes with straight legs. Reach being way back here. Try not to sink down and backwards. We want to make sure that we're standing up tall and reaching back first before anything goes down towards the floor. This should be pretty slow at getting there. From here, we need to make sure that we're stretching equally up and backwards. As you can see, I landed with bent legs, but my head stayed in the same position the whole way back. The trust is the most important part. I'm gonna go again. And then we get to that bridge. Before we start here and kick over, we're gonna go over the second half. So how we should be splitting and stepping down, where I want you to be keeping your head, where I want you to be looking as well. So we're going to be about this far away from the wall, wherever we can be here, where we're straight with this leg, pushing that hip forward slightly. That's where your hands are going to go. So we need to notice where our hands are going to go. We're going to kick up to a handstand from there. I'm trying to look pretty much at the floor where I know I want to be kicking this foot to. So from here, all I'm going to do is hold this split. I'm actually going to use my nose and my shoulders to walk me down off the wall there. This is where we want to be reaching back to and splitting to straight away when we're going for that back walkover. If we lift our head, we are only going to shift our weight back where we came from, and it will stop any sort of transferring of weight that we're trying to achieve here. Another important part is making sure that we're leading with our toe, because if we're leading with our knee, there is weight in your foot, and your foot will stall out how much leverage you're going to have coming over the middle of the walkover. Keep your head in front of your arms and keep your arms behind your head. Now, with our kicking leg, we want to step forward and we want to make sure that we have this back leg completely locked out. We also want to make sure that we're pushing this hip down into the floor towards that toe on that foot. This right here should feel really grounded and solid. We don't want to bend either leg. We want to keep them both locked out as strong as we can. This stance should feel really strong, and we want to maintain and hold this stance for the whole back walkover, honestly. Now, the reason why we went over the second half with the split and the step down before the first half with the kick going over, that's because if you have a strong enough stance, enough reach, and enough trust in yourself to go backwards without looking, then we should be able to pretty easily go from here where we're standing and reaching to here where we're in the second half and we're walking it over. Now, let me show you some examples of what is only going to make it harder, what we do not want to do. Oh my God. Keep everything tall. Try and use your reach. Trust yourself to reach backwards and catch yourself without looking at the floor. Try and understand the feeling of every piece of the skill. So what I mean by that is don't try and physically look for something that you're probably not going to find, or for something that's not going to help. Think about how it feels to squeeze your legs before you even reach. Think about how it feels to reach all the way back until you touch the floor and then keep reaching. You should be able to do the whole skill with your eyes closed or your eyes covered, because you're that confident in every single piece and how it's going to go before you even start. How do I do this? Now that we've gone over the whole skill, let's go over, I guess, like the two ways that we maybe should be finishing. Number one, stepping down and coming up to where we started. So starting here, reaching over, and then standing back up. Or we can step down and get our feet together and hollow out our body, ready to either maybe add a back handspring. Really hollowing out at the end there. The main thing that I want you to take away is that reach with your hands and shoulders. That's hands and head placement. Shoulder flexibility is so key here. Being able to reach back here and then eventually throw your hands back even a little bit further is what's going to help us a lot moving forward from here. Remember, the handstand is up here. It's not here. See you in the next one.